Robbie Maddison?
Hey, hold on,
Maddo?
everyone. Robbie Maddison's just turned up.
How'd you log in, you dog?
Hey, buddy, I just heard you're going to be on, so I thought, I'm no way I'm missing this.
Yeah. Hang on. Give me a sec.
Mate, there's 300 billion email. There's 300 billion email links. How did you get this?
Mate, you never know what you don't know.
For those not watching on video and listening, Robbie Maddison has just joined this Bilko episode. You might
end up with 2 of your jerseys.
Bilko's in the background dusting off some Robbie Maddison merch from the mid 2000s. Rob,
one for Wall because I know I've got another one.
Shut up. Let me talk. Rob, I wanted to surprise Bilko because we wanted to talk about kind of some of the people that have really influenced him in his career and personal life, and you were the first person I thought of. So
First guy I made out with.
So Rob, where in the world are you right now,
I'm in
my
California,
friend?
so I appreciate coming on here first. Sorry I came in a little bit early. Maybe the first time I've ever been early to anything. But out in Cali, and Bilko and I have spent a lot of time here, so it's filled with memories. And when I heard that he was coming on the podcast, I was like, man, I'd love to be involved. I'd love to, celebrate Bilko because he's he's been the character of this industry. He's been so much of a backbone of the Aussies, kind of like Slaughter on America when we went there to take on X Games and take on these best guys in the world. And Bilko's obviously been up there amongst the top for so many decades now, and obviously done some probably the most show ridingest rider in the whole industry almost. It's crazy. So yeah.
Your timing is serendipitous, Rob, because we're literally about to get to the 2009 X Games.
Awesome.
And you talk about the Aussie onslaught, which was well underway between you guys, Sinks, Schubring, and the likes. Bilko turning up to 2009 X Games. Someone's got to wrestle the gold away from America. Why was Bilko that guy?
Well, yeah, he's the first guy to be an outsider to dethrone the Americans. So, I think Bilko obviously, in my humble opinion, was the perfect guy. Just with his background, used to being on pressure from Supercross racing. Growing up, he'd done the hard yards of racing through juniors and motocross and doing all that, and so he could attack the course. It was a dirt course. It was slippery. He was on an underpowered bike. Well, maybe not really, but he had a modified bike to be able to get over those jumps. And then, and I think just had the time and the place and the right things at the right time, like at the foam pit and all that, to just harness his ability and he was ready, willing, and able, and pushed and hit that year with tricks that no one else was doing. So, and that's what it took. You had to show up with your A game. You had to be prepared, and something I never.
And then you do get an extra little fire in your belly for the freestyle contest after you get absolutely bent over and reamed in best trick. So, yeah, I wasn't going to be happy with anything but a gold that night. So that was win it or bin it. But that one was. I'd learnt the hard way already, and I'm like, I'm going to be more smooth and consistent. But it was actually one of the first times that the very first time I did a contest where I didn't write down my run on my bar pad or anything. I actually just memorized it, and all I wrote on my bar pad was breathe. And that was enough because I'd go to Dew Tour, and it's like you roll on your front mud guard or your bar pad and you get
remember
confused.
To breathe. Yeah, there's so much tension.
Yeah.
Going on, and you're worrying about the trick and the ramp, the track, and the traction, and all the different things, and then you just get caught in that moment. Your heart rate goes up, your mind takes over, you forget to breathe, and that's becomes the straw that can break the camel's back. But
that's what every time I messed up was just because I got flat. I just landed that near death, and then you're out of breath, and and I'd forget all my runs, and they'd be written everywhere. I might as well have had it written on the inside of my goggle lens, and I'd still forget it. But Yeah, that X Games in particular, I remember it was the first time I didn't really watch anyone else ride or their runs because I used to think, oh shit, he did that. I need to change
Yeah,
it. And I'd start changing things right before.
that's cool, man. You're
That
right.
I'm like, I'm doing me and that's it. And just breathe. And you know exactly where you're riding, exactly what you're doing. And apart from the 360 hill click, you crashed mid run, like everything was perfect.
Rob, that's a fascinating insight into the psychology of Blake Williams. You know, everyone kind of knows him as the clown and the real idiot pest, whatever you want to call him. What's your idiot pest? I mean, you probably have a story list longer than Bilko's broken bone list, but give us a Bilko story, or Dennis, as he's more commonly known back then.
Well, I mean, I remember the early days of us showing up, you know, when John O'Porter was around and there was like, we were Sinks and Bilko and then me and Shuey and Jono and Sawley was around at the time. But there was,
Tell them about the Macca's trays at Brisbane Supercross. Didn't you?
I came in, I had my girlfriend's car at the time and I put the handbrake on the Macca's trays and I was driving around like Supercross didn't know freestyle. I'd raced Supercross and it was all so proper and I went back and become an electrician and I showed up. I didn't give a shit. I was a young kid and I just put the handbrake on the Macca's trays and just fucking
nearly took out the fucking KDM warning.
They were just like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this guy? That was the introduction to who the Maddo. I know. This is about you, Bilko. Well, you cover with Patrick, that teddy bear everywhere, and he'd always have.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't around for a lot of the nitro stuff, but I mean, as every time Bilko would be entertaining, it'd be a laugh. There was sleeves getting ripped off. There was always, you know, just touring around with these guys, and you know, with Bilko, it was just always there's always shenanigans going on, and it wasn't like Patrick getting held out of the thing. It would be some kind of random shit or costumes or
that
Darth
photo
Vader
with,
mask.
that picture with me doing a no hands with holding hands with Cam and Travis. If you zoom in, Patrick's under my gong strap.
Yeah, you always had Patrick everywhere. It was fucking awesome. But
yeah, bro.
I mean, ultimately, I think yeah, the best times have been, you know, at the X Fighters and like at X Games and, you know, and obviously traveling with Krusty's back in the day when we did it was wild. I remember like just that's a part of that I remember a lot with Bilko. It's just like when we first kind of made it into the scene and we're doing the Supercrosses and then we went into Krusty's and it was that was special days back then, right?
It's like our first paid holidays, basically, just to run amok, and you know, your job was to live the brand, basically. And Krusty was carnage, and we created as much as we could. Maddo burned a hole in the dance floor of some RSL on a KX65 and had a meet and greet.
Yeah.
So
Whyalla Bowling Club, I believe, in 2005. That was.
After he smashed his teeth out and ripped half his chest off because he jumped with no shirt on.
Yeah,
Maddo left his two front teeth on a street in Alice Springs or Darwin, I think it was.
Darwin first show.
Darwin.
The first show on the back of the mobile landing on the truck. Benny Browning was DJing and we'd finished practice and I wasn't feeling right because I was just flying in from Germany and they're like, if anyone wants to keep riding and I didn't feel right. So rather than deciding to go to the hotel and get some hydration and a good night's sleep, I thought I'd keep riding and I went for a no-handed whip and I'm like going like this to Benny on the DJ decks. And I come back and grab my front brake and went straight over the bars. No jersey on because it was so hot. Ripped my whole chest off. Smashed my two front teeth out. They thought I broke my neck, but I'd had the broken neck already for 6 months. So after spending the night in traction, I got let out with no skin on my chest and no teeth. And then went down to Whyalla and
you had your head shaved after that too. It made
I set fire to my hair.
Rode out.
Yeah, that was a party. That was a party trick.
The human candle. I used to do that. Just light both sides of my hair while on the dance floor.
Hey, Rob, we've been chatting for about an hour, and we've mostly talked about Bilko so far. Away from the spotlight, Blake Williams, whilst he's still a clown and when the camera's not on him, he's still a clown, but he really does have a soft and caring side. And I think, we touched on Bilko having a rough couple of years and how good a friend Rob, you and Amy have been to him, and kind of explain to that, friends in the good times is really easy. Like, we can talk and laugh forever about those crusty days and the nitro days, but how important is Bilko to you and your amazing wife, and how important has it been to you to be there for him through the kind of the ebbs and flows, particularly the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, to me, it's I guess part of my character. I'm always there for friends. I mean, I'm not trying to. That's just part of my DNA, I guess. But like Bilko's just been a mate since I can remember back when we were junior racing. Right, I remember seeing Bilks and Sinks at the tracks. They were a lot younger than me, but I was like Mick Sinclair, him and I would race together, and I remember Bilko from those early days vaguely. But then we got back into freestyle and then I was so like him and I are from the same kind of nest, I guess, when I look at it for the big scheme of things. And so just when you
Like in respect, Maddo used to come down to Melbourne to ride freestyle when he was still a full-time electrician, just have enough money. We'll just take a loan out when
Hey,
you
potato. Rob's trying to say something nice.
yeah,
Potato's our safe
down there as
word,
an
Rob.
electrician, and I took a loan out of my house, and I'd come and stay with Bilko, and I mean, right from the get-go, we clicked, like, it was like a brother. And then
we set your ramp up for some of your first flips.
Yeah.
You were doing them, and you landed the second one. We just went 2 easy cocksuckers, and then rode around and did another 10. Then you were missing out because we all had CRO 50s, so you caught a taxi to the bike shop and bought a brand new Honda 50 and put it in the back seat of the taxi and came back.
Yeah, that was wild times. That was a
So
fun.
we've been in it together.
But that's these moments, these stories that Bilko's saying, like, and that was like the heritage. So like when shit like goes south, like I remember Bilko being hurt and coming over and staying here, but like we got each other's backs. It's like one thing to be competitors on the track, but we're like brothers off the track, and to I know him and Sinks are like literally like brothers, but like for me, like anyone from Australia is my homie, and we're out here, we're in America, we got to stick together. And
you're the first one to congratulate me at due to Baltimore the second year when I won. The contest wasn't even over, and you come up and get a big hug. And you just fucking won, dude.
Yeah. No.
Do you think Maddo, that bond you talk about, and you mentioned Sinks, I've got another question about him in a minute. Do you think that bond you guys all share away from the dirt bikes is what has spurred like Australia's dominance, the current dominance in freestyle motocross, and then the kind of takeover when you guys are at the very peak of your powers?
I don't think it's like our friendship that really spurs it, because the whole competition seems pretty lonely. It's like there's no really, you don't really feel like friends with anyone for the most part. You might find a buddy in there who's like your bestie, but like as far as like everyone getting along, it doesn't really feel like that. I don't feel like, in my opinion. Like there's like obviously the amateur guys are always really tight, but once it gets kind of like a pecking competition, it gets a little bit lonely at the top, as they always say. But for me, like it's never been about that, and I think that's one thing that's kind of kept me somewhat humbled, is that like I don't really care for. I mean, I want to win, but it's not like I'm going to be dirty this guy for the rest of my life because of one event or whatever. Like I let it go. And for me, it's just about having fun on my bike and getting paid. Like I really try to stay grateful for the opportunity that we get to do this. But it's, life is, for me, is I've experienced it on so many levels, obviously coming from a deathbed and being an electrician and all that. Like this is a song and a dance to be able to ride bikes and do it like this way. So my whole thing has always been to like have mates at the end of this. I don't want to just like compete against guys. So a lot of the letdown I feel is like when you consider people being your friends and they show signs that they're not really there for you. But that's not true between me and Blake. Like we've been buddies, and he's been there for me. He's helped rebuild my 50 and do all kinds of shit. And like he's got the guy that'll come over here and help you pack your bag and get you ready for a show. Of like we ride together, and then I'm flying out the next day. He'll hang around and help out as much as you need more help, or otherwise I'm going to bail. Like he's one of those guys that's down to help and give a hand, and that's and that's what you do for each other. So it's cool to be able to count on your friends when you need them, and like you say, they show up when it's not really like, it's one thing to compete when they win, because not a lot of people will go and do that, but when your buddy's fallen a bit short and you're down to kind of stop what you're doing to go back and pick them up and walk together, I think that's to me, I'd rather be a friend like that than win any event. That means more to me and my character moving forwards, and knowing that I'm got my head on my shoulders and I feel good inside. Like that kind of personality traits is what, when I look in the mirror and ask who the fuck I am, like that's the stuff that matters to me, not winning a gold medal, because all those competitions are corrupt anyway.
The medals are cool and that, but I think just like the bond of doing it with your friends, like you can get it for the medals, and almost we're like doing all the crusty touring and stuff off to the side of that for half a year was like, that was the bonus. And then next game, okay, it might go good, it might go bad, as you said. But if it didn't, look at the rest of the fun shit you got to do for the rest of the year.
I put a lot of I always want to win X Games gold medal. I never got one. I felt there was one time I thought I was worthy of one, but whatever. You can't control that, and it's just like letting that shit go for me has been, and seeing other guys like Rob Adelberg and Jacko come through and just get so many of them. It's like, it's crazy, but it just wasn't meant to be for me. The energy's not right for me to go to that stuff, but it is what it is. Like it's always about the journey. It's not like the destination, and it's not, it's not any one part of it. It's just the whole, it's the experience of going through it all. And that's why now that it's like that period's done, it's done for all of us. Like tomorrow will never come back, but yesterday will never come back, but tomorrow it is what you make it. So it's, and I don't have to make it be like what it was in the past, because that was back then. Like now I'm not getting older, but I'm still trying to find ways just to enjoy myself. And I'm sick of hearing myself say this, but trying to just be the best version of myself is what my focus is right now.
Doing it with your kids in the show, that's fucking cool. So I'm stoked to see that. And your boys are progressing so fast, but just to hang out with them and how polite, humble, respectful those boys are. Mate, Rocco just says what he's thinking. Jagger and Cruz are just young gentlemen. So congrats on doing an awesome job there. Then they just harked it during the show, the mini Maddo. So that's that was really cool to see at Melbourne Freestyle King show, and obviously watching them practice in the backyard and stuff. Beautiful family. Amy's always taking care of me from
my wife is
in LA after Mexico,
and she loves Bilko too.
I was home alone,
and there's been times where I haven't even been here, and Bilko's here staying, and Amy's taking care of him, and he's been down now. So it's like we're not just mates; it's family. So it's and that's what it's. I think it started like that because of how we came into this, and like those early on, like with the pit bikes, with the John O'Porters, like doing the supercrosses and all that, we kind of bonded there when we weren't competing against each other. We'll just put on a show. So we'll just all like four showmen getting around, having shenanigans, having the best time. And then all of a sudden, then that went into X Games. So now we just bonded as mates first. So I'm stoked with that.
Yeah, you'd have to come down from Melbourne Monster Truck Show or whatever, like 2 weeks before, and just live out of your van and just go from here to there, and whatever we could do, ride. You went to some random quarry and just jumped off a 100-foot cliff or something, and then the next thing you know, we're setting up a ramp for you to backflip, and we're trying to jack it up with car tires, and they just folded in half, and the ramp was wobbling, so we had someone on each side holding it, and Maddo just said, "Man, hucks." Like 3 or 4 flips and just goes, "Too easy, cocksuckers." And
Rob, we could have you on here for like 3 hours, honestly. Did you have someone who wanted to say hello before you go?
Special,
here we go.
Blake Williams, this is your life.
Up, Blake?
Oh, hey,
How you doing, man?
Who's this, Blake? Who's this?
Josh Hippie Stevens. Used to live with me in California.
Oh, so you guys are talking about Blake. So I want to share this picture. This is, I don't know Bilko. I know Blake. It's my buddy. This guy with his banana costume on, filling up his dirt bike. That's the guy I know. Right there. And, I love Blake. He's been a good friend of me for a long time. He's a good guy, man. Yeah.
Hippie was a good dude to have around. He wasn't in the dirt bike scene. He was friends with everyone. But, it was just cool to have a a friend outside of the sport.
Hippie, tell us a story. You know, these dirt bikers run on adrenaline, and you know they've got to get their fix. I know Maddo's out jumping out of planes at the moment, but Bilko had an unusual kind of guilty pleasure, Lego.
Yes. Yeah, we actually both each other. I bought him his Ferrari for Christmas a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, at least that survived the container ride home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm not sure if I could tell a whole lot of stories I know. That might be too inappropriate for.
Yeah.
And he's a clean freak, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Very, very clean. I lived at his house for like a year. So everything's got to be in the right spot, you know. Blake's very particular.
OC, capital D.
Dickhead, OC dickhead.
Yeah.
Well, Hippie, thanks for saying good day. Maddo, I got one question for you.
Yeah, Josh.
What did you think of Sinks and Bilko and those lunatics on that first Krusty tour?
We weren't lunatics. We were like pro supercross racers. Well, I wasn't really pro, but
they were wild boys, man. I don't know. I'm not sure what I felt. I mean, we were all running. It's such a fast pace back then. It's crazy, but yeah, it's like no one gave a shit. Everyone felt comfortable on their bikes. Like Bilko and Sinclair both were so comfortable on their bikes. Their skill level was out of like the stratosphere. And then backflipping was new then, and both these guys were like just flipping all the time, and so it was kind of like. It was a bit of a pissing match, I guess, and it was just like who would break first, and those guys were always laying on their tires and pulling it off, and like going on the next show, and it was a wild time, but it was so cool to like share it with those guys, like because the US guys were rock stars, you know, and they come to Australia and they'd literally get treated like rock stars, and I don't think any of us really looked at ourselves like that, but to share those times with those boys, and I mean, it's the treasured memories now for sure.
And especially when we first started flipping 75 foot and we did it, it was the Australian Motorcycle Expo and they had a supercross race. And for us to be flipping 75 in front of all the mechanics and all the Australian teams, that like they always come and watch us ride freestyle in general. But the fact that we were flipping, like they were all pumped and standing out there. And you kind of were one of the last ones to start riding, and your Honda 250 wasn't even warmed up yet, still blowing smoke. And me and Shuey,
potato
75,
potato,
and he had to do it straight away. So we flipped second jump, over rotated, whiskey throwing straight out the rolling door at Jeff's shed.
Bilko's gone on such a tangent. He hasn't even realised that Cameron Sinclair has joined the chat.
I've seen him fossil pop up in the corner. I wasn't going to interrupt the story.
What's up, boys? What's up, boss? Yeah.
How you going, buddy?
Diggy Bear.
What's up?
Oh, well, we might say goodbye to the great Maddo. Thank you, legend. Love you, buddy.
You're an absolute legend. You've been such a credit to Australia, to our sport, and you know, mate, you're a hero to all of us, and thanks for being the man you are.
Love you, Blake.
At the end of the day, I just love you and your family, mate, and I'm so glad we got to share all these times together.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, the man, Rob.
All right, guys.
See you, Hippie.
Sinclair will be able to turn his phone on.
Yeah, flip it around. Yep.
You can't show us the toe ball anymore.
You gotta turn your screen lock off there, Sinclair. Oh, look at that hair, mate. You gotta turn your lock off.
I've got the bonds.
What do I have to do?
You turn your screen lock off.
I was scared of egg from Canberra.
Oh God, this is compelling podcast viewing.
You might have to take your screen lock off there, Sinclair.
Yeah, turn your rotation lock off. The one you had on in the drill.